Hello. Welcome to Verbling. A little slow starting the program this time. Hi there. I'm teacher Oakley. And for the next hour, uh, we're going to talk about strategies to learn phrasal verbs. Now, these are just suggestions. And by the way, anybody who wants to join the class, if you have other learning strategies for phrasal verbs, or learning English as a second language, please feel free to share them. Many people have kind of difficulties with phrasal verbs, and I'll talk about that. And they don't know how they can learn them or organize them or how to go about learning them. Since phrasal verbs are very prevalent in spoken English, especially, it is a good idea to learn phrasal verbs. We use them in more informal, conversational, everyday kind of language. So anyway, today we're going to look at some strategies about how you, as a second language learner, might actually go about learning phrasal verbs. Also, as a matter of fact, we're going to be looking at different aspects of phrasal verbs for the next 4 or 5 days here, at this time slot here at Verbling with me, Teacher Oakley. Welcome to the class. Heidi, hello.
Hello, nice to see you again.
As always, my pleasure. Welcome, Michael. Should I say Michael or Miguel? Oh, or is it Miguel?
Hello, okay, Miguel in Spain.
It is you again. Okay. I didn't know if
Nice
it
to
was
see you.
you, because
Sorry?
you don't have an avatar. So when I recognize your name, I knew it was probably you, Miguel. Hi again.
Yes.
Nice to see you. But I wasn't sure because you don't have an avatar. Okay. Hello, Vu.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm swell. I'm good. Uh, Nice to see you, Vu. Haven't
Yeah,
seen you in a little while.
as a long time no see, teacher.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. Oh, I lost my camera. Uh, oh, no, there, I got it back. Okay. All right. We're going to talk about strategies to learn phrasal verbs. You guys have other suggestions? That's terrific. Um, Please don't assume just because I'm the teacher and I'm telling you this is how you should learn phrasal verbs. Not at all. I'm just making a couple suggestions, a little advice, how you may want to go about learning these particular vocabulary constructions, words. Um, okay, it's phrasal verbs. First, a little introduction. They're difficult, okay, because there's so many of them. I'm not going to do this in this class, but in when I was teaching at the academy, I would do a simple exercise in which I would have the class give me 10 simple verbs. Usually phrasal verbs, the more simple the verb is, the more phrasal verbs are related to that particular verb. So very simple verbs like come, go, look, uh, they have get, have, they have tons of phrasal verbs related to them. Anyway, and I would have the students give me 10 prepositions. And then I would just, okay, take off, take on, take over, take up, take, and I would just draw lines connecting each one that made phrasal verbs. And inevitably, regardless of what words they gave me, we would end up with a giant, really confusing, twisted spider web. Uh, because there's just so many of them. Okay. Also, there's many of them. Secondly, They have many phrasal verbs have multiple meanings. This is very common. For example, pick up. Okay, Heidi, what does pick up mean, the phrasal verb?
choose.
Choose. Yeah. Like, can you use it in a sentence?
The boss picked you as up for next leader.
The boss
Picked you up for next leader of the
Okay, to
project.
be the next leader, maybe. Okay. Yes, it can be used that way. Usually, if you pick, okay, choose in that way. Mm-hmm.
I picked out pink T-shirts
Okay,
to go out.
right. Okay, I picked up milk at the supermarket on my way home from work. Okay, choose to get something, to simply get something. Actually, there's almost two meanings there. Also, you can pick up somebody.
Yeah. Take what's it? Go somewhere, some place to take someone.
Right,
Someone to other place.
right. You could pick up someone at the airport
Mm-hmm.
and drop them off. Pick up, drop off. You fetch something. It can mean choose, though. You're right. The Boston Red Sox picked up a new player.
For example, hello, now I'm airport. Please pick me up.
Yeah, exactly. Fetch, kind of meaning to fetch. Okay, it can mean to fetch. It can mean to purchase, to buy, like pick up milk. It can mean to choose. Okay, it can also mean to learn. I picked up guitar over the summer. Okay, doesn't mean well, it could mean I physically picked up the guitar. It can actually be physical, which is one thing about phrasal verbs. They often have a very physical dictionary meaning, concrete meaning, a meaning that you could see with your eyes. It's very concrete. Okay, and then it can have another abstract meaning, another two, another three, another four abstract meanings. So, as in our example here with pickup, this makes them also very difficult to deal with. They have, and the fact that they have literal meanings and then another more figurative or abstract meaning also. Okay. So even idiomatic meanings sometimes. Sometimes they're basically an idiom, idiomatic. If you put up with a annoying cousin, okay. Well, what can that mean? If you put up your cousin, what does that mean, Miguel? If I put up my cousin for the weekend, do you know the meaning of that?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Sure. If I say I put up my cousin for the weekend.
Put up. Is it possible to allow to do something? Is possible?
Yes, you allow that specifically. You allow them to stay at your house. So if I put up my cousin for the weekend, it means very specifically you allow them to live with you. If you put someone up, for example. But if I put up with my cousin all weekend, now that's an idiom. If you put up with someone.
To spend the time with another person.
Not exactly. If you put up with him, I might say I had to put up with my cousin. He's so obnoxious. He's so annoying. I had to put up with him all weekend.
Not exactly. I don't know.
Okay.
In this case, what they mean.
All right. If you put up with somebody, you have to put up with somebody or something. You have to deal with it. You persevere through it, even though it's uncomfortable, annoying. Um, the dog barked all night long, but my neighbors were not even home, and the dog was locked in the house. So I just had to put up with it for the evening. I just had to deal with it. I just had to live with it. There was nothing to do. So you deal with a situation. If I put up with my cousin all weekend, I dealt with it, even though he's really annoying. Welcome to the class, Araceli. Hello.
Hi, hi again.
Hi again. And hello, Nader, again. Okay. The other thing that's tough about learning phrasal verbs is the fact that they work differently grammatically. For example, some phrasal verbs we talk about, they can be separable, be separated. A phrasal verb is a verb and a preposition. The preposition with the verb, now it's not really a preposition anymore. It's an adverbial particle. It's called a particle, a part, adverbial, because it's modifying the meaning of a verb. So, okay, sometimes the verb and the particle can be separated. Sometimes they have to be separated. Sometimes they can or not. Most cases, they may be both separable and inseparable, meaning you can't separate them. Some phrasal verbs are inseparable. You cannot take them apart. You cannot put the object noun in between. It's impossible. For example, look after. Okay. Vu, do you know what look after means? Is a phrasal verb? I'm going to look after my niece this weekend.
Yes, teacher. It's similar to take care of somebody.
That's right, to take care of. Very good. Absolutely. Perfect. You are correct. Now, this is an example of an inseparable phrasal verb. Grammatically, I cannot say I'm going to look my niece after this weekend. Doesn't work. It's impossible. I can never separate them. It just won't work. Now, look after something. You're going to have to look after something. So it does require an object noun. I got to look after my neighbor's bicycle while he's gone. Okay. Fine. It requires an object. There are other inseparable phrasal verbs that, in fact, do not even take an object. For example, Araceli, what does it mean if I'm going to eat out tonight?
That you are going to have dinner at the restaurant, maybe.
Yes, outside my house, in any case. Yes, most likely at a restaurant. Right. But can I say I'm going to eat out dinner tonight?
Yeah, I think you can say both. You can eat dinner out or you can eat out. No, I don't know. You can eat out tonight.
Yeah, I can't say
eat your dinner out tonight.
We're going to eat our dinner out tonight. Actually, although you may hear that, it is possible. It is actually a grammatical mistake. Actually, with this particular phrasal verb, nader is absolutely correct. It does not take an object. So actually that's incorrect. If you hear, and you may actually hear,
Okay.
it's a very,
No object.
very common mistake, actually. But it is a mistake. Technically, grammatically, you can't use an object. So, no, to say you can eat dinner out is absolutely not correct. So, not only do I have to worry about separable, inseparable, I also have to worry about, does this verb even take an object or not? Okay, well, looks like she made it.
Finally.
Finally. Hello, Elise. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to the class. Welcome to Verbling. Hi there. Elise, where are you from?
I'm originally from China, but I have been in Singapore for more than 12 years.
Ah, it's Singapore. Okay. Cool. We're in the same time zone. And your name is Elise, right? Am I saying it correctly?
I think it's a typing error. My name is supposed to E-L or Elise, just up to you.
Okay, Elise. Okay. Well, in English pronunciation, it's Elise. But
Okay, Elise, right.
is that okay? Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Elise. Well, welcome. I'm glad you finally figured it out and were able to get past the hurdles and get in here. Very good. Thank you. Okay, we're talking about phrasal verbs. So, okay, we're talking about some of the problems with phrasal verbs. On the other hand, there's some that are inseparable, some take an object, some they're inseparable because they don't even take an object, so of course they're inseparable. Many can be either. I can say turn off the lights, I can say turn the lights off. It actually has...
I'm sorry, Alice, please mute yourself. Some sound already.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. Yes, if you have a noisy background, we can all hear it. So if you're not speaking, just mute yourself. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So is it okay now?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So most phrasal verbs can be either separable or inseparable. And sometimes, occasionally, you have phrasal verbs that have to be separated. Many times, okay, with phrasal verbs, you're going to find that the phrasal verbs with the same verb have something in common, as well as you will find that sometimes the preposition or adverbial particle will also kind of form a family. For example, mess up, clean up. They're kind of related. What does that mean? Nader, are you speaking or are you chatting on this class? Okay. Chatting, maybe. Elise, mess up, you make it dirty. Oh, okay, you're chatting. Right. Clean up is the opposite. Okay, got it. All right. Mess up, clean up. Well, the fact is, actually, in these cases, really, clean your room, clean up your room. Why do we even bother to use a phrasal verb? The meaning clean your room is still there. Okay. Because up has the same function in many phrasal verbs. It means, basically, it means completely. So if you mess up the kitchen, the idea is different than you made a mess in the kitchen. You messed up the kitchen, completely made a mess. If you clean up your room, you clean everything in your room completely. So yes, okay, very good, Arethella. Eat up. Actually, very good. You tell your children to eat up their vegetables, for example. Kids don't like to eat vegetables. Some kids, I did, but many kids don't like to eat vegetables. So when you say, instead of eat your vegetables, you say eat up your vegetables, you want them all eaten completely. Very good example. Perfect. So sometimes it helps you to figure out the meaning of a phrasal verb you're unfamiliar with by knowing some of these kind of groups. Sometimes the verb come in, come over, come up, because they share the same verb, come. Come in, enter, come over, come to my house, come up. Usually, okay. Come up to my house, okay. They all have similar meanings because they have the same base verb. Okay. All right, so when you're learning these, what you have to concern yourself with, I'm going to do a little screen share here. Some basic questions you can ask yourself when you run into these. What other phrasal verbs do you know beginning with the main verb? And I would add or, the particle. Okay, sometimes the particle can actually help you understand the meaning of the phrasal verb. Also, you have to, so you don't use it incorrectly, you have to know the literal meaning, and usually there's a literal meaning as well as a figurative meaning, possibly an idiomatic meaning. Not all phrasal verbs have multiple meanings, but many do. In general, totally in general, the more simple the verb, the more basic the verb, the more phrasal verbs there are, different particles, and the more meanings that they're going to have in general. Like, not a rule there, just. And then you have to know, is the phrasal verb separable or inseparable? Grammatically, how is it used? Very good thing to do is to write or speak a couple example sentences to see if you can use the phrasal verb correctly, which is what we're going to do right now. Okay, let's try this out. Let's look at some phrasal verbs and play around with them here. Okay, let's start with get into. All right. Okay. Do you know any other, first of all, do you know any other phrasal verbs that have get? Let's see how many we can name just for fun. Elise.
Yes.
Can you give me a phrasal verb with get?
Get on, get off, get by, get up, yes.
Get by.
Get off.
Get on. Get off. Okay. Very good. Get in. Get in. Okay. Sure. All right. Get out. Get out. Okay. All right. Yes, it's very simple to think of several. Okay. Especially with a word like get, it's very simple. So there's many. Okay. Very good. Others. Whoops. Others here. That was very fast, very simple. Get to, get by, get through, get over, get at, get away with. Oh my gosh. There's so many. There's so many. Now, let's think about literal, figurative, and idiomatic meanings. Okay. Heidi, What is the literal meaning? Concrete meaning. Something you could see with your eyes.
Get into.
Yeah. So, and you can explain it by using an example. That's fine. Probably the easiest way to explain it.
And to start to belong to something.
Okay, I'm asking for the very literal meaning. Physical.
Physical.
Like yeah.
Physical.
Yeah. So.
Into something, some place.
Right. So can you, for example, give me an example sentence?
I get him into my room.
Get him into my room. Okay, that's fine. Inside. The general meaning is move the person inside of something else. Right. Get into. Araceli, you read my mind. I was actually thinking exactly the same phrase. Ooh. Okay, get into a small car. Yes, very good. What is a more figurative kind of meaning?
For example, arrive someplace. The airplane
Arrive.
get into from airport.
Okay, we got into Miami at 3 o'clock.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Very good. Okay. But that's, or is that literal? We got inside Miami. Okay. Okay. Well, whoopsie. Oh my goodness. Wrong button. Okay.
For example, sign up or enroll someplace, school or somewhere. Is it still literal?
I got into MIT when I was 18, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm having
It's still
technical problems.
literal.
What's that?
Still literal, not figurative.
Oh my God, what? I got into, no, I guess that's figurative. That is figurative. Okay, that's another figurative meaning. Okay, you were permitted into something. So you got into the club, for example. Okay. All right. I don't want to. Okay, Nader has some very good one. Get into this, to get involved in something. Okay, or to. Okay, could be to get involved into something. Could be to discuss something. I don't want to get into trouble. All right, is more figurative. Okay, very good. Yes, that is definitely correct. You get into trouble is very common. Okay. Very good. Also, we use get into a lot to talk about a lengthy discussion. We got into a conversation that lasted for 3 hours. Okay.
Get into trouble means make someone pregnant.
That is definitely idiomatic. Now, okay, great. Yes, it can be. Wow. Okay. Yes. My uncle got a girl into trouble. Yes, it was very much idiomatic. It can mean that my uncle got a girl pregnant. That is very much an idiom. Wasn't expecting that, Heidi. Very good. Okay. Wow. Okay. Also, another idiomatic meaning. Miguel, what is What does it mean if I say I really get into hiking?
I really get into.
Yeah, I really get into hiking, for example.
I don't understand hiking. I don't understand.
Okay, I'll write it for you. I really
Can you
get
type?
into
Okay.
hiking. Okay, that's it. Hiking.
Okay, okay. Is something you would like to do?
That's it. Exactly. Something you really enjoy. All right. If you get
Yeah.
into something, you really enjoy it. I really get into hiking.
Mm.
So even though we have more than they list here, we've got, all right, to open, if okay, to actually go inside, or to open, you open a box, you get into a drawer, you get into the closet to get something out. Uh, okay. Figurative, to discuss something. Plus, we had many other meanings that we came up with here. All right, which is fine. Get involved. Uh, all right, so we thought of a couple literal meanings, 2 or 3 figurative meanings, and a couple of idiomatic meanings. All right, so this is important. Now, the last thing we want to think about, is it separable or inseparable? Nader, what do you think? Get into, is it? Can you separate it? I really get hiking into. No. Uh, hmm. What do you think?
Inseparable, I think. I don't know.
Yes. You don't know, but you do know. If you use it, if you want to figure it out, the best thing to do, and actually, I do this all the time when I'm trying to figure out grammatical problems. Um, it's usually inseparable. Usually, okay, but here is the problem. As Nader and Artheli are demonstrating in the chat box, you get into the closet. I cannot get the closet into. It is inseparable in that meaning. To discuss something. I really got into an argument with my wife last night. I really got an argument into my wife with my wife. No. I really get hiking into. No. No. It's inseparable. However, to involve yourself in something, as in Aristotle's, in a different definition, you get yourself into trouble. Yes. Or the idiomatic meaning, to get somebody pregnant, he got her into trouble. Yes. So here is further problems with phrasal verbs. You can see how complex this is. In some meanings, you have to look at each meaning individually as far as the grammar, separable or inseparable. So we've got at least half a dozen different meanings of get into. Most of them inseparable, or all of these examples here are inseparable. However, Araceli, very good. You've figured out a use that, and Heidi's idiomatic use, both were definitely separable. Um, in fact, Heidi's, he got her into trouble, meaning he got her pregnant. I don't know how. I think it has to be separated. She got into trouble. Well, I guess maybe no. I guess it can be done. Okay. And then, all right. Well, just to share with you some other examples. I used a key to get into the house. Let's get into the reasons why we're going to win this case. Okay, let's talk about it. He's really got into the concert. Okay. Yes, quite complicated. You're right. You're right, Araceli. They are complicated. All right, let's look at
I
another one.
just don't, sorry, I just don't know how native speakers are able to manage all these meanings differences or not. I don't know, or maybe because I think of English is really challenging, the phrasal verbs, and they are also very nice because you can express a lot of things, but you never end learning them.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. You do never end learning them. And even if you did, Araceli, even if you learned them all, next week there would be new ones.
Yeah, you can make up your own phrasal verbs, I guess.
Yes, that's absolutely true. There, there are elements of language such as hyphenated adjectives which you can make up your own. It's totally grammatically correct to do so. So there really never is an end. Actually, it's infinite. You're absolutely correct. Uh, I guess you bring up an interesting point. How can a second language user learn all these? And how on earth does a native speaker learn all these separate meanings and separate grammatical
Yeah.
rules? Uh, with as far as phrasal verbs go, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we use these constantly in conversation. So it's normal spoken English, and we're just subjected to them from when we were, little babies, really. And I never, okay, I took vocabulary classes in school when I was growing up. I learned a lot of vocabulary. We had Wordly Wise, it was called. As a child, every week we'd have a list of, I don't remember, 15, 20 words maybe? I don't know. In a workbook. We had this workbook from when I was 6 to when I was, I think, 14 or 15. Every series of workbooks. And we would learn vocabulary constantly. We'd do exercises. We'd have a test at the end of each week. I remember this from my childhood. Never, ever, 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 ever do I have any recollection of studying phrasal verbs or learning phrasal verbs as part of learning vocabulary in English. Okay? Take that how you want, but generally we learn all these from speaking, hearing, and practicing. So that says
Yes,
something, I guess, about learning phrasal verbs.
I think you use many words that come from Latin, and for us, for example, for Spanish speakers, they are easier. But for you, they are like very formal words. So the everyday words are phrasal verbs, something like that. And when you are learning, maybe you have to study these different expressions or words, Latin words, but they are not so common, I guess.
Right. And actually, well, as a matter of fact, at well, 6 hours before this class started, for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week, or the next 3 days, starting tomorrow morning, I'm actually doing a small course about root words, Latin and Greek root words, and suffixes, and how they work in English. And part of that, my research and class preparation, I assembled a test to see how many root words I knew. Oh my goodness, I was actually shocked of how many mistakes I made. I thought I was going to easily know them. But strangely, actually, I did not. I made many mistakes when I self-tested. So if I could take a phrasal verb test, and I know I would know every one, but looking at the root words, as you described, really, I had a tough time, quite honestly. So, yeah. I don't know what that says about phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are largely spoken. And you're right, they're informal, so you don't see them when you're reading. You don't see them, definitely not very often in academic writing. Absolutely true. All right, let's take a look at another one. This is a 3-word phrasal verbs. And yes, although there's a great multitude of 2-word phrasal verbs, there are some, not nearly as many, but there's a few 3-word phrasal verbs. Vu, look forward to. Vu, do you know what that means? To look forward to something.
Yes, I understand the meaning. Example, when my mother go away in the long time, sorry, teacher. She travel in a long time, so I look forward to her come back.
Okay. I look forward to her return, you might say. Yes. Oh, it could be a verb or not a verb, Nadir. I look forward to, could be a noun. Well, her return, for example. Actually, we'll take an object. I look forward to Christmas. For
Usually
example.
we use look forward to meeting you like the ing, right?
Yeah,
ing.
gerund. Yeah. I look forward to meeting you is very commonly seen in business, heard or written in an email, for example. Yes, it usually takes the gerund form, which is I look forward to hearing from you. Right. So actually, it's a gerund. So actually, it's always a noun. I look forward to, yeah, it's always a noun. It's never a verb, actually. It's a gerund form of a noun, object noun. All right. Okay. Now, Vu, do you know any other words, phrasal verbs with look?
Look up to,
Ah, very good.
look into,
Ooh, good. Whoops. Look up to. Whoops. What's wrong with me here? Look up to, right? Look into.
look through,
And that is 3 words. Look into.
look at,
Look at. Okay, sure. Look away, look through, look to, look at, look over. Yes. Okay. Yes, look is another simple verb, so there's a gazillion. Okay. Okay. This actually does have a literal meaning, believe it or not. This usually 3-word phrasal verbs are not going to have a whole lot of meanings. Believe it or not, this 3-word phrasal verb does have a literal meaning, to look at something in the front. It's not used very often, as it notes here. You look forward to the stern, like if you're on a ship. You look, actually the stern's in the back. My mistake. So you would look forward to the bow, which is the front of a boat. Okay, so obviously not used often. Figurative, to eagerly anticipate. Vu, you had that right. Now, is it separable or inseparable? E. What do you think, Araceli?
I think it's inseparable. I think it's used all the expression together.
Yeah,
Look forward to, yeah.
You're right. Yes, it is definitely inseparable. I don't know how you could possibly tear that apart. with an abject noun. Okay. Okay. Let's look at another one. All right. Heidi, put off. Okay. All right. Do you know other phrasal verbs with put? Heidi?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Put out.
Uh-huh. Okay. Put out. Put on. Put in. Put up. Put off. Okay.
Put away.
Put away. Yes. Very good. Put away. Put down. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Also, since we're looking at this and also sort of introducing tomorrow's class, put down. Okay, it can have a literal meaning. Put down your pencils. The test is over. Fine. It can also have a figurative meaning. I'm going to throw this one out to the class or Heidi. Does anybody know what does it mean to put someone down?
Put some out.
No.
What you said?
I'm asking, what does it mean if you put someone down?
Put someone down.
Not literally, but figuratively.
For example, remember or memorize some name.
No. If you put
stop.
If you put someone down, a person, and actually, here's another factor with phrasal verbs.
Calm down.
Nope. If you put someone down, you insult them.
Oh, really?
Your hair looks ugly.
Down.
That's
down. On is like insult. The same. Look down. Look down on some.
No, not is. Look down on means to disrespect.
Yeah.
Not admire. So if I look down on someone, I think they are less of a person. Well, the person who's looked down on would probably feel insulted, but that's a symptom. That's not the meaning. That's a result. Okay, if you look down on me, I'm sure I would feel insulted, but you may look down on someone but never even meet them. So how would they be insulted? No, but to put someone down is to insult them directly. You are wearing a really ugly dress. You look fat in that dress. Okay, that is definitely putting someone down. Now, the point I actually wanted to make is that this actually has a noun form too. A put down is an insult. Okay, so tomorrow actually we're going to look at phrasal verbs that are used as nouns. Here's an example. All right, you put someone down. Put down, you can also it can also mean to write. Put down, okay, I want you to put this down. You may say to your secretary, okay, put this down. All right, meaning you're requesting her to write. Okay. Meanings, literal, figurative, okay? Put down obviously has a very physical meaning. You put down your pencil. All right. Miguel, what is put off? I mean, put off. Well, wait, is there a literal meaning? Put off? How can you put off?
Put off. I'm not sure. Put off. is possible. Something we have to do, but we can in this moment and to postpone is possible.
To postpone, exactly. Okay. And Nader over there has the more idiomatic meaning.
Oh,
Figurative and
oh,
idiomatic meanings are very similar. I wouldn't really worry about it too much, differentiating between figurative and idiomatic. Concrete or literal meaning, yeah, you have to think about it differently. Yeah, to postpone something. Very good, Miguel. You're absolutely
yes.
correct.
Example idiomatic to make someone not like is, for example, mm, one example. I don't know.
Well, the more idiomatic meaning, if something puts you off, it makes you not like something. For example, uh, okay, the his constantly talking with his mouth full while he eats puts me off my appetite. Okay, I'm not hungry. That really puts me off the food. The fact that they're cooking the food in the bathroom puts
Oh,
me off. Ugh, yes, it's disgusting, yucky. Uh, or a person, her attitude really puts me off. Simple as that. Meaning I don't like her. You can just her attitude makes me not like her.
okay, can I do a comment about this class, please?
Sure.
Yes, you explain, totally agree. The problem is phrasal verb, okay? The question is I hear or read in some place is about 3,000 phrasal verbs, okay? For me, I suppose a lot of people, the question is how to learn. In this, in verb learning for me is very, very good, but the question is how to practice because to learn is to practice, okay? For
Yeah.
example, if you put partial verbs in three levels, to high and lower, for example, level intermedio, advanced, or okay, and to practice, for example, because here is teacher learn or explain your program or the question is, for example, in this page is a specific class to phrasal verb in different levels, okay? If you, for example, if, for example, you can to upon this class to advanced intermediate level to practice because it's difficult. You if you no practice, it's very very difficult. It's a lot of phrasal verb is necessary. For example, the most common phrasal verb 200 2000 in to put and all day you but I don't know if possible. Do you understand me? The question is how to improve this particular thing.
Right. Well, I certainly did not catch all of that. That was quite a little speech. I did not understand all of it, but the I guess your main point is to practice them. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. What are some other strategies we can use? Let me throw it out to the class. Another strategy, possibly, is to keep a phrasal verb dictionary yourself. Actually, if I'm actually teaching an academy, I have students keep a notebook and pencil and keep a dictionary. One strategy is to write down phrasal verbs as you hear them. But what we're looking at the class, some things you might want to write down. If you do that, you might want to write down to help you remember other related phrasal verbs. obviously meanings. You might want to write down separable or inseparable. You might want to write down example sentences. Best way to learn it is phrasal verbs, as we keep talking about it, and I agree with you, Miguel, is just to practice them. You have to
Yes,
practice them.
yes, because I think the important now is to practice. Because
Yeah.
don't practice, you have to buy in internet to do or to see or or to read a lot of phrasal verbs. The question is, uh, for example, one, three, or four levels, and to practice. To practice, I don't know, it's possible. Do you understand? I want the important is practice, practice.
Yeah, and I agree with you, absolutely, especially with phrasal verbs, even more than the rest of English, although all of English, it's important to practice. Phrasal verbs, you just have to try it out, and hopefully in an environment where it's okay to make mistakes, because it's easy to make mistakes with phrasal verbs. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. I have to bid you adieu. I have to say goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. Um, my time is up, and I have a private class I have to go teach.
Bye.
Bye for now. Thank you.
Bye bye.